Natasha Fattah is looking into the story for us today. So all of this taking place in a U.S. courtroom. What exactly happened here, Natasha?
Well, you can see Hulk Hogan here when he was testifying earlier during the trial, a trial that took only 2 weeks to come to a conclusion. And that conclusion came out yesterday. And as the verdict was being read out, Michael, Hulk Hogan, 62-year-old former pro wrestler, was in tears and was embracing his lawyers. This is exactly the vindication that he and the lawyers wanted. He's also been awarded $115 million by that jury. Now, just to remind folks at home about this case altogether, this is a several-year-old sex tape that involves Hulk Hogan, otherwise known as Terry Bollea, his real name, and his ex-best friend's wife. Now, the ex-best friend was actually carrying out the recording of this video. Now, somehow, Gawker managed to get a recording of that videotape. And so his lawyers, Hulk Hogan's lawyers, had presented all along that Gawker never approached Hulk Hogan or anyone else involved in that video for comment, for permission. They said it was not newsworthy, and that also Gawker did not follow general protocol when it comes to posting images like this on a news website. Now, Gawker has rejected many of those arguments, but clearly the jury was on side with Hulk Hogan and his team. It took them 6 hours of deliberation to reach this verdict, and it was a very happy Hogan and his lawyer that were outside the courtroom after the verdict was reached.
Mr. Bollea is exceptionally happy. This is not only his victory today, but also anyone else who's been victimized by tabloid journalism. We're coming back Monday for the rest of it, and we thank you all for your interest.
Now, Monday for the rest of it means that everyone, including the jury, has to head back to court to deal with the punitive damages that need to be addressed at this point. But Gawker says this is not the end of it for them. They are going to appeal this decision.
Well, not the end of it for them. And many people are watching the case because it does raise the issue about freedom of the press, does it not?
It does. So clearly Gawker and Hulk Hogan had a lot invested in this trial, but so did several other media outlets, particularly celebrity media outlets, as well as lawyers in general, who wanted to see how this would play out. Does Gawker have the argument on side? Do they have material that they can publish because there's a public interest in it? Or does a celebrity who Gawker says lived his life out in public have a right to a certain degree of privacy? Now, Gawker has argued that this is a man, as I say, has lived his life in public, even had a reality show. Privacy has never been a concern for him. And they also presented information indicating that before they published this sex tape that they say only has actually 9 seconds of sexual content in it, that this had already been alluded to or presented on TMZ, a popular celebrity website, as well as thedirty.com. And they said that Hulk Hogan went on the Howard Stern show to talk about the sex tape, to address his concerns about it. So he wasn't being private then. Why is he being private or using that as the argument now? But it doesn't matter. The jury was on side with him, and several lawyers have already spoken out saying this is a critical turning point for the law in the way it sees privacy versus the public's right to know.
Natasha, thank you.
You're welcome.